feel very lazy.
Shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
So this is... I told you guys about the shout-outs. I hope you prepared shout-outs. Did you prepare your shout-outs?
Not really.
You're the worst. Okay. So, Caitlin, go ahead. 3 shout-outs.
3 shout-outs. Okay. So in our season of political discontent, my shout-outs are things that have made me happy on the internet.
Okay.
That video of a golden retriever who is obsessed with her Gumby toy.
Yes,
and
that's
her
so great.
owner dresses up as Gumby, and like it's just, if you haven't seen it, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry. It's brilliant.
We should find that on YouTube and then put a card right above Mike.
I had them all prepared, and then now I'm... comedian W. Kamau Bell, who, if you're not familiar with, you should check out. He's got a ton of things on the go, several different podcasts. He had a CNN show called United Shades of America, which was really funny and like all about sort of just like going into different communities and like fostering communication and being hilarious. So there was like an episode where he's a black guy, and he went and hung out with the KKK for the first episode of the show, which was terrifying and also entertaining. But it was really worth checking out. And he has a couple podcasts that I'm enjoying. One is Denzel Washington is the greatest actor of all time, period.
That's true.
Which has been going on for a couple of years, but I just recently was turned on to, and so they go through him and his co-host, Kevin Avery, I think, who's a writer on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, go through all of Denzel Washington's movies, mostly in alphabetical order. Very enjoyable. And another podcast he does called Politically Reactive. It's him and another comedian, Hari Kondabolu, where they talk to people about politics and are funny together. They had a really great one on the Dakota Access Pipeline, actually. They talked to Jill Stein recently. So, yeah, check those out. I think that probably counts as 3. Right?
There you go. Mike, what are your 3 shout-outs for the week?
Well, to be honest with you...
I assume the Texas Stars.
Well, actually, no. See, well, that's a side piece, I suppose. The Texas Stars, of course, should always be known by everyone in Texas and across the world, I think, now.
They play in Cedar Park, right?
They do play at the Cedar Park, the HEB Center now.
Oh, is it the HEB Center?
The HEB Center.
I was really hoping it'd be Mighty Fine, because they got that Mighty Fine blimp in there, and it craps coupons.
I just got a
everybody.
burger yesterday for the first time. It dropped on me. I was speaking of that. Yesterday was great. So the Ontario Reign lost, but I got a free Mighty Fine burger. I got they announced, everybody in section 121, row J, gets a free pizza at some point. So that was the row right behind me. But I just hopped up. I was like, hey buddy. And then when they came around, they gave out the pizza, and they weren't like, can we see your tickets? It was just like, here you go. And so it went from being a row that only had 2 people to the entire row was filled.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then also got some free chicken wings and stuff. I got so much free stuff yesterday. It was great. But anyways, go to the Texas Stars.
When's bobblehead night?
Oh, I don't know. Tonight is a free glow-in-the-dark T-shirt night.
Ooh.
Free glow-in-the-dark T-shirt night.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to be having that.
And we put the podcast out tomorrow, so you just missed free glow-in-the-dark T-shirt
night.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you're going to miss it, too.
I totally am. I got to go play Mozart's. And you just missed me playing Mozart's.
Yes.
But you can catch us next week.
That.
Yeah.
Next week, on the 5th,
Mozart's is great, too.
is the Highball. That's our birthday gig.
Got it.
Given that this is, I usually would do something political oriented, but it's such a depressing political season all around. I think that most of mine are actually just things that I think that I happen to love and I happen to really enjoy, and they're all music related, so it works well for something like this. So I would just like to give a shout out to actually 4 particular bands. It was going to be 3. My top 3 are bands that I think are very underappreciated and not as well known as they should be. So first and foremost would be the Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Cherry Poppin' Daddies, great band.
Yeah, big from the mid-'90s, Zoot Suit Riot, everybody knows it, but they are so much more than a swing band, so I encourage everybody that happens to see this to check it out. The next up would be Murder by Death, a fantastic band that I myself made a 14.5-hour drive to Colorado to go to the Riot Festival solely because they were there. I didn't really care. Misfits and everybody else was there. Billy Talent was there. We had a great Canadian band.
Yeah.
Yeah. And And so I think Murder by Death is absolutely phenomenal. Everybody would love them. Their name implies kind of like a heavy metal band, but they're not at all. Not at all. They have a
and they're
great
just
electric.
sharing the stage with the Misfits. Sure.
Yeah, well, they have an electric cello. They're great. They got country songs. They do all sorts of stuff. His voice is very reminiscent of Johnny Cash. And then third would be a great Texan band, the Reverend Horton Heat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So who I've loved since I was back home in Canada. So I think that those are three bands. And then to swing over to the fourth, I had just one, but I think now I should throw in a couple. But the Tragically Hip.
Yes.
Just hung up their hats after many, many, many years of phenomenal concerts. Literally one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life. The amount of energy that Gordon put into his shows, the amount of care and love he put into his music and into the Canadian society as a whole, and continuing on even nowadays, is phenomenal. My heart goes out to him and the rest of the band and his family and all friends and to Canada in general for,
He's a national treasure.
He is a national treasure.
Canada's band, people call
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So
I thought that was Justin Bieber.
No.
Funny. We gave him to you guys.
Yeah.
Can I give
So-
him back?
No.
Unfortunately, the Tragically Hip never really broke through into American mainstream. So I would like to majorly give a shout out
Yes.
to them,
Yeah,
because
that's
I think
true.
that anybody that has a chance should go and listen to Road Apples. It's an album from the mid '90s, and it is perhaps my favorite album of theirs. They also have Your Favorites, which is a compilation
Yeah, that's a
album.
great intro to.
Yeah, it crosses most of their work right up until like the mid 2000s. So and it was a fan oriented. They took votes, and that's how they came up with that. So I think Your Favorites would be a great album to intro into the Tragically Hip as a whole. And then aside from that, I think that everybody should just try to reach out and listen to music that they don't necessarily have a chance to. Billy Talent, if you love punk rock, Billy Talent, phenomenal. So check out Canadian bands, because there's some really good music going up there.
Like
Yeah.
Cactus.
There's do you know this? Is it KOOP does the Great White North, which is a Canadian music showcase on Friday afternoons. So
Yeah, because Friday afternoons on KUTX is the old school Happy Feet dance party.
which is also fun.
We are so
So
much
much
more
fun.
than just Rush.
Call me on the Alexander.
Seriously.
Yeah, we are so much more than just Rush.
Or Celine Dion.
Or Celine Dion, or Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
We have
It's
more
a
to
whole
offer.
other world out there.
There was Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
Hold
Alright.
that thought.
Ooh.
What are your shout-outs?
Okay, my shout-outs. First shout-out would be the Sky Maps app in the Apple Store,
Oh yeah.
which this is a map. What it is you download it and then you point your phone at something, like in the sky, or even you can even point it at the ground, and it'll show you the constellations and the planets and all the cool stuff that's in the sky that's either right above you, or if you're pointing it down at the ground, it'll show you what's on the other side of the earth.
Oh,
So that's
cool.
the only way you'd see the Southern Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
So that's very
Also
cool.
Scorpio. Scorpio doesn't come up this far.
Do they have anything like that on the
it's-
Google store?
It might be on the Google store. I just happen to have an
Probably.
iPhone, so that's
Yeah, no, that's great.
but
though. I
it,
didn't
it was a
even
free
know-
app,
never heard
and it
about
was
that.
it's very, very cool.
Very cool.
It'll
Yeah.
you see the star in the sky and you go, what's that? And you point your phone at it and it goes, oh, that's Vega, or whatever. So yeah, it's very cool.
That's Neptune.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's Mars. That's Saturn. That's
What else?
I'd also like to give a shout out to the Target Cartwheel app, because that is how I got a massive amount of cheap Halloween candy.
The Target Cartwheel app.
Yes.
What does that do?
That gives you coupons for Target.
Did it require you to give your location?
You
Because I
don't,
can promise you they can tell when you're headed to the store.
you don't have to give your location, but if you tell it which store you're at, it will tell you where you can find that stuff in the store.
In the store.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that Target has facial recognition software on their security cameras? Target can actually tell it's you when you walk in. Not only that, but Target was the first company to figure out, in many cases, Target figured out women were pregnant before anybody else.
Oh yikes.
Before they went public with
That's
it, because
creepy.
they figured out
Super
that
creepy.
newly pregnant women are buying, I think it was like a lot of cotton balls and some other stuff. There's a couple of key products that specifically women that are just getting pregnant are buying. And what Target knows is that is the only real time you're going to have a chance to make them a lifetime shopper. That's when they make these purchasing decisions. We do all these things out of habit. You go to Target because you've always gone to Target, right? Or you go to Walmart because you've always gone to Walmart. But if you get pregnant, now you're going to look at both of them because you're going to need the better price or the better quality or all these things.
Do you know who's not lifetime shoppers at Target? Canadians.
That's right.
Canadians.
Target crashed and burned in Canada.
Which is sad because most Canadians, when you go to the U.S., it's like, oh, Target, we love Target. Not anymore.
Yeah, and I'm so upset because they bought Zellers and killed Zellers, and I loved Zellers.
Zellers was great.
Yeah, and the Zellers right across the street from where I lived had a little diner, a little Zellers diner.
Yes, the Zellers diner.
Yeah, and it was like a 1950s diner,
Yeah.
and then Target bought them and then died, and now I'm like, you killed Zellers for me. I'm so upset with Target.
But I still love U.S. Target.
I don't. To hell with U.S. Target. Sorry.
Oh.
To bleep with U.S. Target.
To bleep with U.S.
Is
Target.
that really that bad? Is that
No.
HE double hockey sticks?
sticks.
There
There you
HE
go.
double hockey sticks.
There you go. I just wish Target flies under the radar because of Walmart. Walmart gets all the bad press for underpaying their employees, but Target doesn't compensate their employees any better.
No, that's true.
And
that's unfortunate.
Also, like, I have a lot of criticisms about their upper management, but it's Target. They figure women have gotten advertisements for Target in the mail before they told anybody they were pregnant.
That is crazy.
It's so creepy, isn't it? It's Orwellian society
Big
really
Brother is
brought to a
watching
level. Yeah.
I think they also send out those pregnancy things. If you'd registered for like your wedding, they send them out about 3 years after your wedding.
Right, because they've got it all worked out. It's all just, I don't have those kind of resources. Just buy the records, please.
Yes.
So, what's your third shout out?
Halloween.
Halloween! That's right, you decorated.
I decorated.
Kinda.
I'm sorry.
You did a
Somebody
nice
forgot
podcast
to
that
get
I
the
was
ladder
alive
for me so I could get the rest of it out of the attic.
I'm telling you, the week we don't have any guests, it will just be 90 minutes of us bickering. So, happy Halloween, everybody. Yeah, I'm actually in costume. Longtime viewers of the show, all 4 previous weeks, will recognize that I am not wearing my disco hoodie. I am wearing this very spiffy velour tracksuit.
Yes.
And I have been fighting the urge to break into character the whole time.
Thank you.
But this is the tracksuit that I wore on Jesse Thunderwake, American Icon.
We thank you, and our audience thanks you.
Yeah. Not the hat. I'm still wearing that because let's face it, I'm losing my hair. And the lights are coming from above. It's just not... It's so obvious how much hair I've lost.
Yes.
So happy
Yes.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And you're going to make me give out the candy. At least till you get
Only
home.
until I get home, because I'm in class until 6:30.
Yeah. So I'll come home. I'll give out candy.
I will set all the candy up for you
Yes.
tomorrow night. So
Please
that
do.
Giving
when
out
you get
candy
home-
is the best part of Halloween.
Exactly.
It is.
It's the most fun.
And I historically, I will watch the Rangers on my phone out on the porch because I don't want to have to get up off the couch every time. So I just sit on the porch with the
Texas
bucket
Rangers
of
or
candy.
New York Rangers.
New York Rangers.
Okay.
New York Rangers.
Yeah, but we're in Texas, so I mean, I
And
hear
YR.
Rangers.
Lundqvist. All right. So those are your 3
those
shout
are my
outs.
3.
All right, so I got to see it on my board here. My shout-outs. The Mike and Lewis Show. I got hip to these guys out in Florida. They got a show they're streaming on Facebook Live, and they do, I believe, they stream on Sundays or Saturday. They do a weekend stream on Facebook Live, so you can go like the Mike and Lewis Show on Facebook, and they're doing some pretty stuff, some pretty cool stuff. They got that. What's their hashtag? I think it's Hey Girl Hey. It's fun. It's a good podcast. So the Mike and Lewis Show. Also, my buddy Jay De La Cruz. Somehow, all of a sudden, we're picking up some fans in Florida, and I'm like,
Okay.
"Are you sharing this stuff? Why? Where are these people coming from?" But Julian's a great musician out there in Florida. He's doing really interesting stuff. So if you're in Florida, you'll actually get a chance to see him live. But he does all sorts of cool stuff online as well. He's an R&B guy. And then my last one is Ruggaroo. Previously mentioned the punk rock band. So I'm waiting on them and Jomo and the Possum Posse.
Also, happy birthday, Tom.
Happy birthday, Tom! That's right. Happy birthday, Tom. So we're gonna have it. That's right. I wrote
Today,
on
I
this
think.
tape. Yeah, My problem is I'm the worst. I go through Facebook and I'm just like, 3 people's birthday. Happy birthday, copy paste.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Tom.
But
Well, in that case, happy birthday, Matthew.
happy birthday, Matthew. Who's Matthew?
He's a friend of mine.
Are you sleeping with him?
Yeah, I knew
Okay.
that.
He's in Sacramento.
Happy birthday, Matthew. So yeah, anybody have birthdays coming up this week? We got our
Actually-
birthday gig.
Happy birthday, Trevor.
Trevor.
Like, he's like my best friend, my brother,
Yeah.
my confidant. He's back home in Canada. His birthday is November 2nd.
Up in the Great White North.
Or sorry, November 6th. I think it's November 2nd because I have a game. November 6th. So I see, and we always joke, we're like, remember the 6th of November? And then I say November 2nd. So never mind. Now I can't share this to Trevor because he's going to be like, you asshole.
No, but hey, we're making a big deal for Trevor. Happy birthday, Trevor.
And on that note, happy birthday, Dawn.
Happy birthday, me and Tom.
And Tom.
So Tom and Ruggaroo, but also my bass player, Tom,
Ah,
who I don't know. One day he'll come be on the podcast, but that will be the episode where we just argue about analog versus digital, because he's really into like modeling. But he's the bass player that you've met, and
nice guy.
nice guy. And his birthday is mine's on the 3rd, his is on the 4th, and now we got our highball gig on the 5th. That's why it's our birthday
Oh,
party.
that's
Nice.
fantastic.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then a couple of years ago, we had a drummer who was 60 named Dale, and I was turning 30 and Tom was turning 45. So we had this like 30, 45, 60 thing, and we did this whole big thing. We packed a little place here in Manor. It was fun.
That's great.
Cool.
So,
Do you have big plans, like for you personally?
well, I'm going to record for like my
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah.
Well, she's got class, so,
Yeah, I've got class.
and I've got to edit Freeform Fridays.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go out for dinner, I know
Yeah.
a place that has poutines.
Oh, I've never had poutine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you get that?
Well, I guess secondary shout out to Frank's in downtown Austin.
Yeah.
Huh.
They
Frank's
have-
in downtown.
Yeah, they've got poutine there on the menu. They do it with waffle fries, so it's a little different, but it's actually quite good. Had it
Nope.
recently.
I want the real deal.
No. It's very good though.
Okay.
So I highly recommend it. I mean, I wasn't sure. I was a little skeptical, but they've got it. And I have recently suggested that they get a beaver hot dog because they are replacing the kangaroo hot dog because they can't get it in. So they said we
Really?
need something in for it, and I said, well, something to complement the
Yeah.
poutine. You know, and we happen to be lucky.
Isn't
in
the
that-
beaver endangered?
No, I was just going to say, we happen to be lucky because our national animal isn't endangered, so we can afford to make a few hot dogs.
We're gonna talk about that in our next section here. What's next?